Hello, viewers at home. It's good to have you on this program, Future Ambassadors. I'm Momosola Adokai Ogundele, and today I have two lovely guests that will be telling us. Sorry, today we are looking at parenting. We're looking at parenting because the rate at which things are going wrong in the society these days is really alarming. So we're looking at the role of parenting, and I'm having two lovely guests that will be telling us more that we need to know about parenting. I'm having Dr. Segun Ogundele. You're welcome to this program.
Thank you.
And I'm also having a lovely lady, Joy Okago. You're welcome to this program.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So we're looking at parenting. Actually, what can we say parenting is? Is it just to give birth to children? What actually is parenting?
Well, being a parent is different from parenting in itself. To give birth to a child as become a parent.
Okay, yeah.
Or parenting has to do with the process of raising the child up or the children up to become responsible persons in the society.
Okay.
And that is very, very important for the child to be a responsible person. So there is enormous responsibility on the parents to raise that child up in that regard.
Okay. So from your own angle now, what do you think parenting is?
Well, Doctor, I've said it all. Parenting is not all about just giving birth. It's about having a cordial relationship with your child that would build that child up to become someone better. I think the cordial relationship is very important in parenting.
Cordial relationship. Okay. So now about the present day economy that we're having, the social economy that we're having, how do you think good parenting can come up from this economy, our social economy states?
Well, good parenting can come up not exactly financially based. Yeah, because most mistakes that some parents do is they try to groom their children in a way that they believe that you should have everything at your beck and call. But when you're able to train up those children in a way that when there is, have it, when there is none, have it, it's not available, they would be able to grow and build their mind to accept situations around. So it won't send them to go beyond their expected jurisdiction if those things are not there. So it will reduce the issue about the economy affecting the social life of children who have been brought up by parents.
Okay.
So I think in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is parenting has a lot of responsibility to do in helping the children to adapt with situations when it comes to the economy of the country.
Okay.
So that they'll be able to flow through life.
Okay, Doctor, you've seen a lot of things. We have heard a lot of things happening in our society these days. We see a lot of young people going into all kind of things just because maybe money, I don't know, that is really pushing them into that. And we find out that some parents are even clamoring or let me say encouraging these children to do more. What do you think is happening in our society? Is it the economy? Is it the parenting? Or we've all got it wrong?
Well, I think it has to do with on all fronts. We've gotten a lot of things wrong in the society because number one, the economy is harsh. We can't deny that fact.
True.
The economy is harsh on people, and then parents gone are those days that you see that maybe only the father will be working and the mother will be available for
we used to
children.
have full housewife
Today,
then, so.
the mother is working, the father is
And
working.
still things are not
Sometimes children, they come back from school, they don't see their parent, they would have slept before the parent come back. And so there are some things that the child needs to share with parents, but they are not available.
Yes.
So the economy in one way has affected. And then the parents too, the kind of parents that we have today, what are our values? What are the things we value? If you look at the kind of parents we have in those days, they value.
They'll be telling you when you're going out, run to your more and
yes, remember the child
so.
whom you had. That is, always remember to protect the image of the family, the name of the family that you are bearing wherever you go. Those are the values.
It's applicable these days.
Not applicable. The parents will even tell you, don't you know what your colleagues are doing? Go and do what your colleagues are doing too. So they encourage them to go to crime or other vices that are not to be done by people.
Okay, now let's look at what is the role of parents. Though I know we've said a little about it, but let's look at, is it just to give birth, which we have defined earlier on, that it's not just to give birth to a child that's making one a parent, though that makes one a parent. But parenting, is it just to give birth to a child and leave the child, or what are the roles? Maybe some of us don't even know the roles of parenting. Let's hear.
I think parents, the roles are so much. Number one, apart from bearing the child, bringing the child forth now, then we have to provide provision of shelter, food, and necessary resources. Then correction,
Yeah,
discipline.
I think that one should be
At the
major.
right time, we should correct, we should discipline. Then parents as well should be role models. It's not that you say you do what I say, but what the child sees you doing
That's
also
what the child
matters.
copies, I
That's
guess.
what they even learn more from what they see than what you are
They hear.
telling them.
Yeah.
So be good role models. Then that discipline is very, very important, because there are times you see some things, if you keep quiet, the child
To
will
go
do
wrong.
more. So there are times you need to talk. When you need to correct. When you need to discipline. So those are part of it. Then be available as
Okay.
a parent.
Yeah.
Be available, because it is when you are available, you see some things, you'll be able to say, okay, do this way, do this. And most importantly, we should show love.
Yeah.
If what is compelling us to do some of the things that we are doing is actually love, you discover that most of the things that we say, okay, well, I'm doing this because of my child, some parents are not working because of their child. They are working because of themselves.
Yeah.
So say when they are self-centered, they don't care who the child they leave the child with, or what the child is doing when they are not available. But if that true love for the child is there, they know that, okay, why am I even working? Then they look at it that there is no sacrifice I won't be able to pay in order to ensure that this my child,
Grows
I
up
raise
well,
him
yeah.
well.
Okay, but you said discipline along when you were talking. I want to know if actually discipline, because these days that we find out that when you discipline a child in our present society, even some parents goes to school to fight the teachers when they discipline their children. Is it really, what kind of discipline do you think we should give to a child?
Well, I'm not advocating whether or not. I think the government knows the right ways of disciplining the school. But when talking about parental discipline, now parent to child,
Yeah.
so sometimes you may need to discipline, not necessarily by corporal punishment, not necessarily by beating. Discipline is not all about beating. It could be by
Talking, correcting.
yes, maybe giving little punishment, especially when the child is has reached an age of accountability that he or she understands. So you may need to explain that, okay, what I said I was going to buy for you, I wouldn't buy it now. I'm going to delay it for the next maybe 1 month or 1 week because of what you did. Or okay, because your uniform is dirty. If your uniform is dirty tomorrow again, I won't buy that biscuit or that sweet for you. And you discover that the child will ensure that
The child will be so bad.
you will be so conscious that the uniform will not be dirty tomorrow.
Yeah.
In one way or the other, you have passed something to that child without necessarily slapping or.
Okay, let me go to Joy now. Joy, we found out that a lot of youths are into all kind of device now. I don't know what is really pushing them. If actually they were not being taught, I don't know. But what actually is the problem that we are facing in our society now, that we find out that so many youths are just into all kind of device now that is not really okay to hear of?
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'll give 1 or 2 points. One of which, Daddy have said something like correcting, talking, and I'm going to cover it up with most parents are not their children's friend or best friend.
Okay.
Because in the society we are right now, whatever you inculcate in the child's head is what you will grow with and run with. So a family where the parents, aside from being busy, a parent can even be at home. They can
And
be
be pressing
available,
phone
yes,
and all that.
but they are busy occupied with something else. Those children go out at the very tender age, they come back from school, they have a lot of things bottled up inside of them they wish to share with their parents, but their parents are not there.
Yeah.
Sometimes they even come say, mommy, this, well, I'll get back to you, I'm busy. Now, the relationship, that's why I said parenting is not just about giving birth, it's about the cordial relationship you build with your child. Now, if this foundation of being your children's friend or best friend has been disrupted from a tender age, it will affect their growing up.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm going to talk about the inability to, do I say trust your parents with something, I don't know, or do I say peers? Okay, peers.
Okay.
Now, the kind of friends your children grow with. Do you know them? What do they do? Can your child go to the university and come back and start giving you gist and be comfortable without you making that child feel condemned?
Okay.
It all still boils down to that friendship, best friend relationship. But the friends too is the second part that affects the youth. When they go out there and they see their friends doing some certain things that they shouldn't do, and they don't have someone to talk to them, or they come back home and you as the mother or the father is always telling them, trying to remind them things for every slight mistake they make. You say some kind of words, like a child that goes out and come back, and maybe you're talking and the child is kind of, she's offended or he's offended and acts somehow, and you're not saying, how won't you act like that when you've already known what I've known?
Okay, when you've already known
what I've known. Now that thing affects children psychologically. I'm talking out of experience.
Correct.
It affects them psychologically because most times they don't even know what you're talking about.
Abi?
Because you think they've grown to a certain age, you feel they should, because they've acted any little way or strangely, teenage exuberance can also make them act somehow. It doesn't really mean they mean it. So don't now make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah.
Now, your friends are already doing this. Look at the way you are. Look at the way you dress. Look, it affects their self-esteem. So self-esteem being demoralized has affected the youth in this society too much.
Okay.
So if it can really be worked on, starting from our parents, trying to become our friends,
okay,
I think it will help us a long way to build a healthy self-esteem and help us fight against even negative peers in the future.
Okay. Doctor, what do you have to? I want you to respond to what she just said.
No, she has
nailed it. But
made valid points.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what I just feel is that we also need to balance it up. As much as we are friends to our children, sometimes we also need to know when to
draw the lines.
Yes, especially when they go wrong, when they do things that are wrong.
True.
And that is why, naturally, nature has done it very well, that you have two parents, the father and the mother.
Yeah.
So sometimes the father can be harsh. It is the mother that will use the soft no, dad is too much, and the mother will, and sometimes it is the mother that will be harsh, and the father will. So there is a way of balancing it. So each individual too has to also balance it. You know when to draw with one hand, and you also know when to fold with the other hand.
So you are in the academy, you've seen a lot of youths now. What really pushed them into some of this kind of device that they do that are not really called for?
I think we have a money-centered society.
That's the economy.
Yes, and like she explained earlier on, we might say the economy is harsh, but we have people who are not very wealthy, yet they are comfortable, they are contented, and they still raise their children well to become good persons. There was someone about 5 years ago, I don't know, the person found an amount of money and brought it to the school authorities. And when they found out the lady was from a poor home, so it's not necessarily because they are poor and then they should covet the money that is not for them. So what I'm trying to say is that even though the society is somehow, but then we need to inculcate good values in our children so that wherever they find themselves, whether in the midst of plenty or in harsh times, they should still be able to stand out, with good value. And then we have said it also that because people are after money, so everybody wants to show off, they want to do this, they want to do that. And the sad reality is that people are not even, we are not helping matters, because we also celebrate them. You see somebody who has
done something that is wrong,
done something, and we celebrate them. We celebrate and we don't reward excellence. You see, if you look at somebody who has gone and studied and read and come out with a good grade, and you see the reward they will give the person, maybe 20,000 naira. And you see somebody who has done, I don't want to mention names of all these other events that celebrate something else, and the reward is very huge. So it's the society where we find ourselves. We should reward excellence. We should reward good things like obedience, honesty. We should also place good value on them.
Okay, now I'm looking at a situation whereby we are talking about economy and balancing our parental roles and all that. I'm looking at a situation where a young child, how do you, maybe the both parents are working, how can they take care of that child? You know, would they put the child, at what age do you think a child should be taken to a creche to be kept, maybe to start going to school? Because this day we find out that our children go to school early, unlike the days where if you're not 5 or if you're not so age, you can't go to school. But even at when they're still sucking, we'll take them to school. And we've heard of stories where nannies or where people that keep these children maybe make mistakes and these children died or something. So and at the end they start blaming the parents.
The point
why
is,
did you have to take your child out?
Why do we have to take our responsibility
To someone else.
and give to someone else? Because in the first case, if there is no need for you to get a nanny, then you should take care of your child. Probably
I'm working, or my husband is working, both of us are
maybe both
working.
of you are working. That's a special case now. In that case, you look at your peculiar, there are no two, you look at your situation, it's peculiar, because there is no particular fixed way that works for everybody. So you look at your situation, okay, this is what is happening, my husband is working, let's look at our time schedule. If one person can, maybe you have time off, if you can know how to alternate, you just find a way around it. And if there are no ways, if there is a relative that you can bring in to babysit the child, to be with the child, someone you trust. But I know there are also cases
people
where
that you trust, even it's people that you trust sometimes that even makes do some kind of things. Or you can bring
someone where you work, at least within your reach, where you can see your child, and then the person to carry your child for you, at least during the time when you are busy, and then you see your child.
It's really serious. I don't know. I don't know, because the rate at which we hear of, because recently we hear of a story that of a child, 15-year that killed a child. Maybe she's saying a witchcraft or something that made her to kill the child that was kept under her care. So
but I need to also add that sometimes there are some jobs that may not worth it. If it requires one of the two
to forgo
the job, then one person should stay and then take care of the child, and then you get another job another time.
Even taking care of a child is enough work for you.
Seriously,
enough work cleaning the house and all that. If you have someone that you're paying, you know how much you're paying the person to do that. Okay, now so looking at the government, what do you think the government can do to help the youth in the society these days to really so that these crimes can curb down a little at least?
Well, I think if I would say they should employ more youths or increase the availability of jobs or something, I'll be fooling myself.
Okay.
I think end power that has been put into law to an extent is helping some people who thinks they are ready to take the offer. Like encouraging people to go into skill acquisition is really helping. And it got to my understanding so that those who are into Empower, for those who took vocational training, they go for their vocational training, and at the end of every month they pay them. Yeah, I had they pay them like 15,000 naira at the end of every month.
How many minutes to take that money?
Well, 15,000 naira is something. Instead of you roaming around the streets and doing nothing or pickpocketing and other things, and you end up in jail, why not just sit down and see how you can go about your life?
You're having a skill,
and you having money. It's like they are paying you for doing your job or something. Thank you. And at the end, when you're done with your skill acquisition training, I heard they're going to set them up too. For those who go for fashion design, they set them up. They give them their machines and all that. Give them some specific amount of money for the time being, and they will monitor their progress before they let go. So if something like this can be improved on, I think it will also help reduce the rate of crime in the society. But on a more serious note, if these youths are also ready to take this over, because some of them are like, if I sit down for a month to get 15,000 naira, if I go on the streets, I'll get 15,000 naira times 10. So that money mentality has crept into the heart of the youth so much. I think first we need to start with an orientation. Bring them back.
That's why we're having a program like this.
Bring them back home.
Yeah, the orientation is important, and then the like you rightly said, we should like some of these youth, they have skills and talents.
Yes.
Look at those that do the Yahoo. They
spend their time on
the internet, on the computer system. That means they have high dexterity on the computer. They can channel that to something positive.
For
example, if it is forex trading, which is legitimate, you can have them learn how to do that, and then they do something legitimate using the computer, using the internet, which they have the talent, the skills for. So it's just to rechannel, refocus, and then they will still make their money.
True.
Okay.
But in a legitimate way. And then we can also organize programs whereby they, along the line, as we expose them to trainings, maybe vocational trainings, or along the line, we also teach them these values.
Okay.
True.
Inculcate it into the programs so that they see that there is dignity in labor when you do things, you earn your living and all that.
Okay, so now what do you think parents that have missed it can do? Because I don't know if there's a solution to that. Some parents have already, they are regretting now. Oh, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Or why didn't I do this? Why did I do that? What do you think they can do now? The children are maybe already at the verge of going out of the house or going out of control and all that.
Well, the first thing is once there is a will, then there will be a way. Once the parents admit and then they decide to, they could, sometimes it could be, it could have even affected the relationship between them and the child or the children. Yeah. So they should take the bold step, and call the child. They should still make attempts.
Some parents don't even know how to show love at all. I don't know. They don't even want to admit that.
And then I think these things can also be. We can also learn. Sometimes the parents, we need to also be open to new ideas, new ways of. We shouldn't be rigid that it is the way I've learned it, the way my parents taught me or raised me. That's how I should. Sometimes we should read books. We should read books on how to raise children. We should attend seminars, programs that will empower us, expose us to modern or best practices of doing these things, of raising children. You will be surprised. And sometimes during these seminars or programs, you will learn from other people's experience, how they have done it successfully.
Okay.
When we see other people who raise their children successfully. So it's not too late to though it is always good to start early for children. But once we realize, I think there is still a way out of it.
Okay. So we are running out of time. What advice you have for so many youth outside that think, it's just to make money that is the ultimate, or my parents have failed me. Some people just feel my parents have failed me. We have some people there that are really, really into the things they are doing because they feel their parents have failed them.
Okay. I would tell the youth out there that though your parents might have failed you several ways, don't be like your parents.
Don't be like your parents, okay?
Because if you end up like your parents,
you'll still fail somebody else.
You'll fail someone else. And the failing continues from generation to generation.
Okay.
Don't be like your parents. If your parent did it the wrong way, try find out the right way to do it and walk that path. Okay. Because if you're saying, because my parents have done this, it means I'll do that. We are not getting better. We'll keep getting worse and worse. So I would tell them to please come back home. In as much as you've gone through so much and you feel, no, I can't take this. My parents have failed. My parents have this. My parents are the reason why I'm like this. Talk to yourself. You can make up your mind.
Okay.
Take a step backward. Rethink. And ask yourself, how would you want your future to be? If you have a better pattern to which you want your future to be, how you want your home to be, how you want your children to enjoy yourself, then I think that would also help you to know how to retrace your step, to become better, so that your children will come and meet you better and also be better.
Thank you very much. Doctor, what do you have to tell, especially the youth outside, like I just asked her, that they feel their parents have failed them?
You should use your parents' experiences as a motivation that I don't want to fail the generations coming behind me.
Okay.
And so I need to, whatever failure of the past, I need to ensure whatever needs to be done to ensure that it ends there. It doesn't continue from me. And I should do my best.
Thank you very much for coming, and thank you, Via Satun, for being there. You've heard it all. Let's not fail our coming generation too. Until come away again on this same program next week. Bye bye.